Hi everyone, my name is CCondie, and this is my data chat over the 2024 STAAR 8th grade reading assessment. I'll be walking through the overall performance and strengths, the weaknesses, and some instructional strategies that I would use to support students based on what I overall performance of the students. This slide shows the big picture of how students performed on the STAAR. There was 45 questions in total, divided in between two categories. Reporting category 1 includes all of the reading comprehension skills, and reporting category 2, which focuses on revision and editing. When I looked at the distribution of question accuracy, it became really clear that RC1 was where students struggled the most. Almost all the RC questions scored below 70%, which tells me that comprehension skills, especially inferencing, summarizing, and analyzing, need more support. For RC2, it had a better spread of more medium and high accuracy questions, meaning students were stronger with grammar, editing, and revision skills. Seeing the data broken down this way helped me understand the specific areas of need instead of just relying on the overall passing. Strength of the data group. The strongest area from the data was reporting category 2, which covers revision and editing. Two questions stood out as the highest performing. Question 2, which asked about Greek and Latin roots and scored at 93% accuracy, and question 44, which focused on editing for conventions and scored 85%. I think students did well here because editing and vocabulary skills are practiced regularly in class and tend to be more straightforward. They rely on rules and patterns students are familiar with, so these questions felt more predictable and manageable compared to the deeper comprehension skills. Weakness number 1. The first major weakness was in reporting category 1, reading comprehension. The lowest performing question was question 18, which only had about 30% accuracy. This question asked students to make connections between the text and either their own experiences, society, or other texts. This is a harder skill because it's not just about recalling information. Students have to think deeper, interpret meaning, and build a connection that isn't directly stated in the text. If they aren't fully engaged with the passage or don't quite understand the main idea, these types of questions become especially challenging. How to improve scores for weakness number 1. To help strengthen this skill area, I would use two main instructional strategies. First, I would use text to self, text to text, and text to world journaling. This gives students consistent practice, making meaningful connections and helping them see how texts relate to the bigger ideas. Second, I would use think aloud connections during reading. When students hear the teacher say things like, "This reminds me of," or "This connects to," they learn how to build those connections on their own. A lot of students simply don't know what a good connection looks like, so model. All right. Assessments for weakness number 1. For formative assessments, I'd use quick exit tickets where students can write a short connection after reading a paragraph. I'd also use connection sorting activities where students classify examples as text to self, text to text, or text to world. These help me see how well they understand the skills in the moment. For a summative assessment, I'd use a short reading passage prepared with a written response, requiring students to make one meaningful connection supported by text evidence. Weakness number 2. The second major weakness also appeared in reporting category 2, but on the writing structure side. Question 32 had only 27% accuracy. This question required students to organize a draft, including introductions, transitions, coherence, and conclusions. A lot of students struggled with writing structures because it's a big picture skill. They may know grammar rules, but recognizing the best organizational choice is harder. It requires them to understand the flow of ideas, which is something that isn't always. How to improve scores for weakness number 2. To address this weakness, I'd use paragraph puzzle activities where students physically rearrange sentences or paragraphs into the correct order. This helps them visually understand how ideas fit together. I'd also use transition mapping activities where students practice choosing the correct transition based on the relationship between ideas. This supports their ability to logically organize thoughts in writing. Assessment for weakness number 2. For formative assessments, I'd use mini fix this paragraph tasks where students must correct the organization of a short passage. I'd also use quick checks where students choose the best transition word for a sentence. For summative assessments, I'd assign a short editing passage where students must revise for structure, transition, and coherence. This would show whether they improved their understanding of writing organization. Reflection. This project really showed me how important it is to look beyond overall test scores. Breaking the results down by reporting category and by skill shows me exactly where students are struggling and where they're confident. In my future classroom, I will use data like this to plan instruction, target small groups, and reteach specific skills. Data isn't just numbers. It gives teachers a roadmap for what students need next. When data talks, it tells me exactly where students need support.